We're live now. All right,
GM
guys.
guys.
Yeah, GM guys. Wherever you're watching us from, GM, feel free to like, share, and invite anyone you want to invite to the live stream. And yeah, here's our Telegram channel in case you want to join. It's on the screen, but we're taking it out right now. All right, so Spencer, what do you think about the market? How are you seeing what's happening in the market? We saw BTC pump yesterday. Like we saw that pump to about
Yeah.
88,300, almost 88,800. I think it got to about 88,300, 88,400 max. Then this morning, right now, is at 86K. What are you seeing? And now we're approaching Friday. We are now midweek, approaching Friday again.
The thing is that I think we've said it before that most of the time these things that we predict
Mm,
as to Fridays being dumps, Mondays being pumps, they are
yeah,
not casting stones. They are not casting stones. So it began this Monday. We didn't really see that pump that Mondays, that sustained pump that Mondays always gives us. So this week could probably just be different from the previous weeks that we could predict how it goes because we've not really seen that good move that we want. Then for our favorite odds to give us those profits that we want from the swing trades that we've taken with them. So that hasn't happened yet. Before this stream, we were just talking about how Sora has dumped and how uh, 2 million has become like a resistance region instead of a support region, right? So
yes,
Bitcoin needs
yes,
to
yes, yes.
be green looking or positive looking for us like Sora to even attempt to break those resistance and then go back to the similar range that we like and enjoy. Okay, but that hasn't happened. And like you said, we are
Yeah,
midweek. So we'll basically have between today and Friday morning for whatever good to happen if the same circle wants to repeat. But if that doesn't happen, I don't know, maybe odds might still go lower or maybe something might just happen in the market. But these things, we've spoken about it before in the stream where I said I'm not really expecting fantastic price action this month because it's the festive month, and if I know anything about December in crypto, it's always characterized by slower price action. People are getting ready to leave the market after a whole year, right, of trading, market turmoil. This period, most persons want to
people are
spend
taking
time with
profit.
family. Yes, touch grass, relax, and the year has not even been very favorable to like us for people to make a lot of money, right? So it's even more incentive for people to be like, this market don't tire me. Let me just even relax first. Now, even my Christmas period, like the holiday season. So let's see how the market reacts to this. Yes, we have more interest in crypto. There's more newbies. There's more people in crypto. But let's see how this whole thing plays out.
Yeah, I totally agree. Before I throw more light on that, let's just look at how altcoins have performed within the last 24 hours. So that there's, if you're
Uh,
just looking at this,
your screen is not showing. It's just blank.
oh wow, okay, let me remove my screen and add it back entirely. Just let me know when you start seeing it.
Mhm.
All right, I just added it back now to the studio. So it's back to the studio. Can you see it?
Yeah, it's clear now.
All right, all right. Okay, so let's just look at how most altcoins have performed within the last 24 hours. Now, there's something that's very evident looking at the market. Asta, if you just look at this diagram, which is showing us bubbles of performance of different alts, you can see Asta dumped like crazy. And we'll look at the chart soon to see the exact price it dumped to. But I know it dumped to like 7 something cents. And since the launch of Asta and pumps to above $1, we've almost never, or should I say, we've rarely seen it drop to about the range of 70 cents. Like very, very rare for it to dump to that range. So now you ask yourself, when a very solid project like Asta, that's arguably about 90% of the token is still held up by the major investors or token holders. They are not selling. It's just barely 10% or thereabouts that people are actively trading, so to speak. Now, you begin asking yourself, if Asta can dump this much, then how about some other projects? We've seen other dexes like Apex that were also trending during the time of Asta, Aventis, Apex, Aventis, a few others. They have dumped crazy, but Asta has been holding up. So seeing Asta dump right now, do you think some other dexes would also crash further? Or what are your expectations?
Well, the thing is, yeah, I expect DEXs, DEX aggregators, uh, probably even some prediction market tokens to go down. The market is not really looking good, like we've been saying, right?
Yeah.
Bitcoin's price action is slow. We are getting into the holiday season. The sentiment around the whole thing is just dull, right? Now, this only goes to
Yeah.
tell us, the stuff that we've been repeating about. Most of these things that we are trading are tokens, right? During this holiday period,
Yes.
these projects are startups. Staffs are going to go on holiday, right? The product itself, the day-to-day, office life speculation, maybe by staffs, and they are going to go on holiday. We that are just trading the market are just trading numbers, the other short or long game. The company itself is not functional in that period. Staffs are going to go home and be with family, whether it be for a week or for 2 weeks or whatever, right? Yes, we say crypto market is up 24/7, but the people behind the protocols, they'll be going on holiday. So whether we like it or not, I don't expect that massive pump. Yes, we could get it based on manipulation, which I've said that if we see those massive pumps and maybe the token you're holding starts doing well, start banking some profits
Yes.
because most likely it's going to reverse, right? It's just one of those liquidity grabs that we might experience in the market. So for
Mhm.
Asta, there were like a few, I think it's probably like crews or fake news or going around Asta and CZ getting arrested in Dubai, but I think it's just normal fake news. But we've seen it that even with Asta's token supply being locked up, for a very long time or a little bit centralized, we could see the amount
Yeah.
of dump. Okay, I think Asta's all-time high is around Z2.3 or $2.5 thereabout, right? Now Asta is below
Yes.
$1. It's crazy. So most tokens that pumped or that got visibility, most of these decentralized dexes, right, was because of Asta.
Yes.
So if Asta's price is tanking like this, most persons that these things are like circle. If someone sees, like, let's say Uniswap token is pumping, maybe they made an upgrade, people will start anticipating other DEX tokens like what of Radium? Would Radium not pump? Would Cake not pump? Would
Yeah.
Sushi not pump? Right, 1 inch. People will
Yeah.
start anticipating. Same thing with the dump. If Uni token starts dumping and people can't place their hands, was Uni hacked? Is there internal problem? Is something wrong with the protocol? No, it's just normal token dropping. There was no bad news. People will start anticipating the team too, for 1 inch, Sushi, and every other DEX out there. And once that panic sets in, we will just see market start dumping for no real cause, right? So I think it's the holiday season. We are going to see these dumps happen. We're going to see a slow grind with alt, except something fantastic happens where, out of the blue, maybe China announces they are going to be having a Bitcoin reserve and they're going to be spending ahead. They will see market probably pump the news, pump the market. Yeah, then if your alt pumps, bro, sell for some money or at least hedge, you get, so that when it comes back down, you're going to get it. Because this month, I'm not really expecting massive price up, except for Ori, basically.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. So let's just briefly look at Asta price and the price of another DEX, maybe two other DEX tokens or three, four other DEX tokens that are doing something similar to Asta. So on my screen here, we have this Asta chart. Now, if you guys notice, Asta launched and it was all bullish all the way to about 2.4, 2.5. And since then, it's been all the way down. Now, here's the catch. We're back to that first day launch price. Okay, that zone. We're back there. So it's now a question of when would people start bidding. Asta has done a huge correction, a huge retracement, and we know it has good trading volume. Yeah, so personally, once it gets into this box, that's where I'll be looking to either long or gradually accumulate. Anyone, either long or gradually accumulate. I haven't really been trading Asta for a while. I've just not been trading it for a while. But yeah, this is what the chart looks like. It has done like a very, very decent correction, and it's actually at a good price to jump in. Although those that got in before the major announcement, they are still in profits because they got in, most people got in around 20 cents, some 15 cents. So they're actually still in profit if you look at it. Some are still in as much as 300, some are still as much as 500% profit. Yeah, so it's still a good investment for them. Now another DEX, Avantis, is to show you how DEXs have corrected. Avantis, look at Avantis, you can see the chart. Avantis ran all the way up to about $2.7, and you can see the aggressive correction. Look at where it is right now, 25 cents. It's down about 92% or thereabouts. So that gives you an idea of if it is buying time or if you should be chilling. Now you can see it's back to about its listing price. Get back to its listing price. They did an airdrop for those that farmed the token. Most persons got the token around this price and exited along this range. Most of them only got $1 before they exited. So you can also see another DEX token that's also at a good price. Now, mind you, these DEX tokens, they are still doing very good volumes. They are still racking up revenue, making profits, and all of those things. So it doesn't mean that they won't bounce back. In fact, they're one of those few projects that if any project has the chance to bounce back, I think DEXs have like a huge opportunity to do that because they can initiate buybacks. They can do almost a lot because they're making money. You understand? And if you look at them, Avantis, it's been on a downtrend. It hasn't broken out. If you draw a line, you find out that it hasn't broken out of this downtrend. It has been on all along. So if you're planning to trade it, you should be looking out for a breakout. That might happen maybe late this month or next month. But if you want to long it, you're looking for a breakout. Most likely we'll cover that in this live session when it happens or in our teaching. The other is Kilo. Kilo is also still another DEX. Now see how Kilo has dumped to. Kilo is on Bybit, I think Bybit, and I think KuCoin too. See how crazy Kilo has actually dumped. You can see how much it bumped when we're having that whole DEX rally, September. See how it bumped, like it bumped real good. Then you can see it has also dumped about 90%. It's at almost all-time low. That's where Kilo is at right now, all-time low. And it's still functional. Still very, very functional. So this is also an opportunity. So you have to keep your eyes open, observing when most of the liquidity will start coming back into the market and the DEX hype will resume. Now you should also note that more DEXs are out there, like Lighter and a few others will have more DEXs, so there'll be even more competition. But however, you can still catch some profits based on FOMO when we get back the DEX rally. The other is ARK. ARK did one very crazy bump, did more than 100x. Yet it's way more than like just moved. That same September we had DEXs running aggressively. ARK ran and did like well over 100x. You can see it here clearly, like a day or 2 days. Did well over 100x. Now ARK is back to where it took off initially, almost back to that zone, almost back there. So you might want to also add ARK to like your watch list. I want to add ARK to your watch list. Some others that you might also want to pay attention to is like Apex. Apex is owned by Bybit. I don't think I have it here. I don't think I have it here. I don't have it here. But last time I checked, the price was around, I think, 41 cent or 40 cent. So you might also want to add Apex listed on Bybit to also look at the chart for like a good entry for it. So these are like for DEXs. Now let's quickly, just since we're already looking at charts, let's switch to looking at the Bitcoin chart and price action. Also our BTC trade, which performed really well yesterday. Yeah, so I'm looking at Bitcoin. Let's go to 4 hours. We showed this trade yesterday and it moved to almost 400 or 300, somewhere around there. Yeah, you can see it got as high as 200 or thereabout. Now it has done like a correction. It's done like a correction. For me, I was taken out of this trade based on trading stop loss. Okay, so by the time it's corrected by about $300, it will be at around 700 or thereabouts, or 800, somewhere around here. Somewhere around here. Yeah, because I set a $300 trading stop loss for correction, and I set that when it hit 83. So I think it took me out around 87,800 or 87,700, somewhere around there. So I'm actually still trying to see if I can still get back in. I'm checking to see where I can get back in again, so that I still run it up. Yeah, so that's based on the BTC trade. But about Bitcoin price action, I'm still expecting this level to hold. Personally, I'm still expecting this level to hold, like I said yesterday. Should this level fail, then we'd most likely go below 80K. But very, very much expecting this level to hold. My only challenge now is to see how BTC would react between today and tomorrow, because we're approaching Friday. And I think next week is Christmas. Yeah, next week is Christmas. So we're approaching Friday. So this Friday would be very, very important to see or to project how Bitcoin will perform into next week, which I expect that most persons might want to take profits by next week for expenses and all of those other things. And I also expect that there'll be less volume in the markets. Generally speaking, there'll be less volume. That's my expectation next week, because most persons will be busy preparing for the holidays. Most persons might just want to stay off the chart. So naturally, I just expect volume to drop next week. Either buy or sell. I expect volumes to drop. So it'll be interesting to see what happens between today and tomorrow and also into Friday. Now, for other coins, like I said, when BTC is not showing any strength, it's kind of like difficult to be able to trade other coins unless you want to short. Or I intend to just be on the side for other crypto tokens. The reason is because volume would be low and thus will be highly volatile. Very, very volatile, both sides, either up or down. So most times it's just not worth the headache for me. The only alts that I'm looking at Ethereum, obviously, for a long position, tight stop loss, Ethereum. Then also Orai, which you guys know why for Orai. We have been telling you guys about Orai, the new updates they've done, and we're expecting it to move. Now, if you notice, you find out something that it's trying to push past this zone. So Orai has a resistance now around here. There's a resistance now for Orai around this level. We have resistance here. So it will need to flip above this level, then probably go above $1 to have like a sustained move. But now the catch is this: with the new updates that Orai dropped, the products that they pushed, it's something that allows you to automate your trading. We spoke about it yesterday. So even in festive periods like this, people can still play around with stuffs like that, because it's like a trading boat, simply put. It's not necessarily a trading boat, but it's like actually a trading boat that's way more powerful. Yeah, so it allows people to automate their trades. So I won't be surprised if it begins to get more hyped this festive period or holiday period into even next year. Yeah, because now that people are trying to stay off the chart or not try to trade too much, they'll need something like that that they can use to automate some trades and decide some coins to long and short for them. Maybe all they just have to do is go there and close all orders or go there and stop the agent from trading for them. You can put it on pause or play it. And I think the maximum run time for the agent at a stretch is 100 hours. That's the maximum run time, 100 hours at a stretch. So there's that high chance and high tendency that it will actually make some good waves during this whole holiday period. Now, should that happen, that would bring about like some hype to the Ori ecosystem. And the ecosystem, as we all know, is majorly made up of the Ori token. And for you to use that agent, you need to have some Ori token, even if it's $5 or $6. So to give people some exposure, and it's also to Ori, and it will also cause like some minor buy pressure for the Ori token. And for the investors, they might use that as an opportunity to accumulate more. So simply put, if you funnel all of these things down, it means that there's a very, very huge chance that the Ori token would continue to appreciate in price gradually, which we have already started seeing in the past. From Monday, for example, Monday to 60 something cents. Today, it's up from Monday about 30%. Now, usually, what most persons were doing was swinging. If we got up here, they sold, they bought back, sold again, just like that. But now you're noticing that you have less and less persons willing to sell off at this level. Yeah, probably because they're seeing some good prospects and the quantitative platform that Ori just launched, the Quant Terminal. They're seeing some good prospects, so they're choosing to maybe buy more, hold, stake, something like that. Okay, so you need to actually key into what these guys are selling if you want to maximize on it. Yet, even if you want to swing it, I encourage you to keep like a moon back. So my expectation for Ori is this. Let me switch to daily charts. Let me switch to daily. Okay, good. Now my expectation, we've been saying about green candles. Yesterday, by the way, they approved the proposal for the community. It's been approved. So now all focus on is on the Ori token. So we've seen 2 green days, and this was the day they dropped the announcement and the proposal. We saw like a huge spike to about $1.3. Again. And afterwards, people were waiting for the proposal to be approved. And the proposal was approved yesterday. The scan to here yesterday. It was around 7 something cents when it was approved, and it spiked to almost 90 cents. Now it's kind of like, should I say, consolidating. So now that that proposal has been approved, it means one major thing. It's no longer speculation again. It means that all value, all revenue, all focus is majorly at least 95% on the Ori token. That's what it means. So what I'm expecting is for us to reclaim $1. Once we reclaim $1, then we start clearing out most of this resistance we're seeing. I don't see most of this resistance as anything serious because most of this resistance don't have much volume. The only reasonable resistance I'm seeing here is this one. That's the only reasonable. So I expect us to quickly go above $2. Then we might spend some time trying to go above 2.4. Now, once we go above 2.4, the next major zone that I'll be expecting that might give us some headache is like 3.6, between 3.3 to like 3.6. And once we go above that, which you guys know that most times once Ori is above $4.6, it's like an easy pump from there. So once we are able to go above this level, this was the level we're struggling with for the past 5-6 months or thereabouts. Once we are able to go above this $5 level, it will be way easier. If you go back, zoom back the Ori chart, see whenever it goes above $5, you notice that it's always easy from there to send to above $10. Like always, if it goes above it, it comes to bounce off around there. It's easy. Several times that has happened. So my expectation is once we break, which I expect us to break out of this trend line soon, expecting us to break out of this trend line soon, which I think we're almost broken out of itself. I think we're almost got to clearly break above it and close above $4. Then the party begins. So this by no means it's not a financial advice. This is basically how I'm actually playing the market for ORI, and I'm using that to either accumulate or set aside some for swinging. The next chart we might look at before we call it a day. Let me share my screen for Sura just briefly because we talked about it yesterday and you guys know how we swing Sura. I don't know if Coin Ginkgo terminal is lagging though. I don't know if it's lagging or let me just share this screen. Please, questions, you can drop questions because we'll be rounding up any moment from now. So please drop questions. You can drop questions, please. I don't know why this Coin Ginkgo terminal takes a while. Okay, good. So this is you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, but then there's this blue thing on it. Oh yeah, I can see
my
it now.
screen. Okay. All right. So if you guys notice today about Sura, which what we're seeing basically is the fact that we have just span this around. Is the fact that we now have like this zone, which was the zone where using as support before to bounce and buy, then target higher levels. I said it yesterday that zone is now a resistance. Yesterday, when we came up to this level, I said it that is 2 million to 2.1 up to even 2.4 M. It's now like a huge resistance. So what that meant is it will be difficult. Now we'll need some extra momentum, extra push to go above this level. And there's now a new swing zone, which is around 1.2, 1.3 to around 1.8, 1.9 or thereabouts. So if you noticed yesterday, it was like huge sell-off. It tried to go above that level. Today is 17th. You can see clearly these are 4 hours candle. You can see it tried to yesterday. It tried several times to go above that level, but there were just lots of sell orders around there. So whenever it comes down to around 1.5, people buy it all the way up again to that level. And I told you guys once that there are boats also doing this. There are people that configure boats to do most of all the stuffs. Whenever it comes down to around that 1.5 and it's going up to around that 2 million, 1.92 M, there's a huge sell pressure taking it back down. Tries to go up again, there's a huge sell pressure. Tries to go up, there's a huge sell pressure. So that's what kept happening all through yesterday and forcing it back again to around 1.2. So for me, I told you guys when I got in and I told you guys what I was expecting. All I just did was maintain my SL around 1.8. So it took me out again and I accumulated more again around 1.4 M. I got more, which right now is still around my entry, 1.4. So if it comes up, most likely I sell again. So right now there's a new range for swing. That's how swinging works most times. There's now a new range. And the range is between 2M and 1.1, 1.2. That's the new range for the swing. Because it's on centralized exchanges, if you're not using both, since it's on centralized exchanges now, it makes it easy for you to set buy orders and also sell orders. It makes it like very, very easy. Also, after you've bought, for it to also set stop loss. Because you can buy at 1.4, 1.5, and you can still set a stop loss at 1 million. Get or at 1.1. Depends. You can buy around 1.3 and still set a stop loss around 1M. At the same time, and they call it order cancel order. So you can buy at 1.3 and set a stop loss at 1.1 or 1M and take profit at 1.8, 1.9 or thereabouts. Also, you can set a buy order. Okay, I think I've said that you can set a buy order, and while you're setting that buy order, you're also setting like an SL. Yeah, so we have most of those functions now on centralized exchanges that you can capitalize on. Yeah, so I think that's all we're taking right now. There's still some other stuff we can talk about, but we're trying to not expend all of the time. So let's look at questions. Let's see some of the questions we have here. Someone is asking, please share if to keep or right back stakes or in wallet. It all depends on your strategy. It all depends. If you're looking to exit fast, you might want to leave it in exchange. If you're in for it long term, you might want to stake. What's the final decision by Alright team? The decision stays the same. You'll get Alright tokens for converted racks, Alright X and Max. That's the decision. Yeah, GM everyone, GM everyone. All the GMs here, GM everyone. Please, what's the minimum amount for someone to have to be able to partake in those BTC features? Well, it all depends on you. As long as you have enough to cover for not gas fees, for fees, funding fees, and you're able to size your entry properly at your stop loss. $50 works, even $30 works. It mustn't be 5K dollars or 8K or 1,000. You just need to be able to understand leveraging, margin, and all of those other basic things, and stop loss and take profit. You understand? So even as low as $10, it works. And you also need to pay attention to funding fees. Very, very important, because most times people don't understand that if you use $10 margin and you do 100x leverage, that is going to affect your funding fees. Most times people don't understand that. And that funding fees is calculated based on the duration you hold that trade. So the longer you hold a trade, now I'm talking about on exchanges, I'm not talking of trading it on Forex platforms like XNES and others. This is trading it on exchanges like Binance, Bybit, Coin, name it. The longer you hold a trade, even if your actual capital, which is like margin, is like $10, and you use 100x. So that 100x times that $10, that'll be like about $10,000. Maybe $1,000. Sorry, to be like $1,000. That 100x times that $10. So it's as if you're opening a $1,000 position. That's what it means. Now, if you hold that for a very long period of time, your funding fees, you'll be charged as if you opened a $1,000 position, even if the only money you're actually risking is $10. Maybe the total money in your account is $20 or $16. You'll be charged as if you're opening a $1,000 position. And even when that funding fees, because most time funding fees like 0.002 per 4 hours or per 8 hours or thereabout, depending on the exchange. Now imagine you hold that trade for 2 days and you're being charged at 0.002 or 0.02 thereabouts percentage of that entire position you opened, and you hold that position for 2, 3, 4 days. Most times you might end up closing that trade with, even if your margin is $10, it's maybe $30, $40, $50 profit, which is a win, because what you risk was only $10. Realistically, what you risked was only $10. So you might end up closing it with a profit of $50. Now the catch is, because you held that trade for too long, your funding fees would most likely eat up probably even 60 or 70% of that profit. It happens. Like it happens. Sometimes your funding fees might even end up making it such that you won't have any profits. Yet, so you have to also pay attention to those things. Some persons can hold the trade for 1 week. Funding fees, very important. You pay all of those fees. Yeah, so pay attention to leverage, pay attention to funding fees, very important. And duration of the duration that you're holding the trade, very important. What is your take on peeping? I haven't checked that sincerely. I've not checked that. Please when are you going to start giving us memes to buy? Yeah, like I said, right now in the market is not the best time to trade memes, or we're still looking at most of that. Once we see any, it would actually drop. So I didn't expect. Okay, so I didn't complete the live session. How to buy Ori on O Wallet? Please buy it on MXC and withdraw it to O Wallet. It takes less than a minute for it to drop in your O Wallet. Buy on MXC, create your O Wallet, withdraw it to O Wallet. That's just it. So honestly, I have good feeling for Ori. Yeah. Personally, I do. I 100% do, and I'm expecting it to do some good numbers. So it's an opportunity for people to accumulate below $1. All right, guys. So that's all of the questions we'll be able to take for today. And as always, we do this every day, Mondays to Fridays, 10 a.m. So we ensure to join on time and also bring someone with you and also your questions. So see you guys tomorrow and wishing you guys a lovely Wednesday. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.